Today's meeting is on Viplex Express, which is the software that's used to operate your digital sign. This is the software that's used for an on-site computer or laptop. This is not the software that you would use if you're set up for a cloud-based operation. So the first thing you need to do is connect to the sign. So in the right-hand corner of all laptops, this is where you connect the wireless signals. The wireless signal for the signs all start with an A and a P and a series of numbers. You simply would hit connect. The password for this is 1 through 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sometimes when it shows connected, it will say no internet, but it is still connected. It's simply not letting anybody going by think they can get on the sign. So as you can see here, I've connected. Now I open the Viplex software, and the answer is yes to open it. Screen 1 is called terminals. These are the different signs that I have that I'm connected to. In your case, you only have one. It will start with the word Taurus, which is the name of the computer in the sign with a series of numbers. And we'll have one listed here, and it will show your matrix or screen size over here. The 1 is the key. Right here where it says online, there needs to be a 1 there. If there is not, revisit that, make sure that you are connected, or hit the refresh button. But there has to be a 1 so that you can communicate to the sign. The second button over is called Solutions. This is where you create the content or the slides that you're going to put on your sign. So you're going to have a file here. Now, some businesses have many files. Restaurants might have a breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. Others have where they run sales every day, so they'll have a Monday file and a Tuesday file. But most customers have one file that, because they're only sending messages maybe once a week, so they have one file, and that one file they edit. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to click on a file here and hit edit. Edit also opens the file. So this is Billy Bob's, and you can see the list of messages he has running on his sign. Now you can have as many messages as you want. Most businesses run 5 to 10 in a loop of messages. These messages run in a circle or a loop. So on the left-hand side is the list of messages that are running. The plus enables you to add messages. As you can see, I can add as many as I choose. The minus or the X enables me to delete messages, and it always deletes the one that is highlighted. The up and down arrows enable you to move a message. For instance, I can move this one down in the loop, or I can move it up in the loop. Since it runs in a loop, this isn't as important as you might think, but you may have a reason that you want it in a certain order. So, again, this is where I add messages. This is where I subtract messages. And this is where I move messages. Okay, so let's go to now creating content. You need to make sure you have a blank screen. This is called a canvas. It needs to be blank. You can't put a message over top of a message. Both will play. So let's just start with a text message, a message that just words. Up at the top on the menu, you will see text. I'm going to click on that and click on the screen. And as you can see, a text box now appears on the canvas on the screen. It says these boxes here enable me to size it, make it smaller, make it larger. Since it's a text message, I can also go to just fill the screen right here, fill the entire screen, and that way I'm utilizing the entire sign. Since again, this particular message has no graphics, it's just words. It says double click to enter your text, so I'm double clicking. And this is where you will type the text that you want to put on the sign. Now, the first button is the font. There are many fonts loaded into your computer and on the sign, but the thin fonts don't necessarily work. You can't read them from a great distance. They kind of eliminate the reason for having a digital sign. So I'm going to talk about 3 fonts today. The first one is Arial Black. Arial Black is a nice bold font for digital signs. I'm going to talk about Cooper Black is another one that looks great. And another favorite is Impact. Impact. So those are 3 thick fonts. There are others, but those will be the 3 I'll speak about today. So once you pick a font, now you type. The reason you pick the font first is that if you change the font, it's going to change the size and how it looks. So pick the font first. I'm going to use upper and lowercase lettering. Sorry. Okay. So this down here is the preview window that you get to see how it's going to look on the sign. So once I've typed it, I'm now going to pick a size. I'm going to start in an example. I'm going to use 32. And I'm going to make a correction here. Okay. So that's my message. Now, notice this is kind of a square look and this is a rectangle sign. If I want it to look nicer, I would make it more of a rectangle look. And that, as you can see, looks better on the sign. So again, if your sign is square, try to type your text to look square. If it's rectangle, then try to again see the shape around the lettering looks like a rectangle. It's just going to look nicer. Now, here's the size. So I keep trying sizes, wanting it to be larger and larger. 48 was obviously too big. As you can see, half the message is missing. So I'm going to now type in different numbers to get it down. 44 looks good. Let's try 45. 45 looks good. Let's try 46. 46 looks good. So that filled the sign. So it's a little bit of trial and error. The next button over is color. The most effective sign is a black background with light colored letters. Now, you can go with a light background with dark letters, but statistics show that they look at the background instead of looking at the words, and that's not what we're trying to achieve. So your most effective sign will be that has a dark or black background with light letters. So I'm going to go in here and lighten this up, and that looks fantastic. I am now done. Over here is where I usually set this for you to be centered. That's the most effective message as far as appearance, but you can offset it if you feel like something you want to do. So that's your message. Now, once your message is typed, down here on the right-hand side, you have a choice of flip, which makes the letters come in and out, or scroll, which would be a ticker tape motion, left to right, right to left, or static. Static means it fits on the sign and it doesn't move for the duration or length of the message. The most effective message is the static message. The other ones are moving and the motion draws attention, but they don't always get the entire message. So by far, static is the most effective. And in most cases, 5 seconds is plenty. For the average car going by in 2.5 seconds. So 5 seconds is plenty as far as length. So let me do that one more time. I'm going to add a blank screen. I'm going to click on the text button. I'm going to go full screen. I'm going to double click on the text. I'm going to pick a font. I'm going to type. Have a nice day. Down here's my preview of that. The next thing is I want to pick a bigger, obviously a larger letter, 32. We can go bigger than that. Let's go 40. Let's go 44. I'm going to try for 46. 46, okay. The bigger the better. Now I'm going to pick a color. Again, light, bright colors are the ones that are most effective. And I am done. And it always sticks to the last one I did. Since the last one was set up on static 5 seconds, this one preset itself at static in 5 seconds. So once you've done that on the first one, if you don't want to change, then you don't have to set it on each one. So that's how you put a text message on the sign. Let's talk about a graphic message now. Again, blank screen, but instead of putting the text, you put the graphics on first. It's easier to fit the text around the graphics than it is to fit the graphic around the words. So you remember where the text button was? Right to the left is the file button. This is where you go and get a photo that you've stored on this computer. That photo could come from your camera. Most of them I get come from Google Images, which you can go on there and get photos. The higher definition photo, the better it's going to look on the sign. When you click on the photos and go online, you'll see it shows you the DPI of the photo. So 800 and up is the best for signs like this. If it's 200, it's not going to look as good on the sign. So I go to File. And in my case here, I have a group of photos that I've already put on the sign, on my computer, I should say. And I get most of them from Google Images. Now, there are other sites you can pay for them, but I suggest you simply use the free ones. So the picture comes on. With that picture, I can size it, just like I can the words. I can move it. Now, I put the graphic on first. Now I'm going to add the text. But this time I'm not going to hit full screen because I don't want the text going over the graphics. I'm going to use the squares to size it to what I want it to be. Double click again, same routine. Pick a font. Okay, that's what it looks like. Same routine. I now need to size it. 32 fits good. I need to pick a color. The smaller the font, I usually make it even brighter. And I'm done. So it's the same routine, except I'm putting the graphic on first. Let me do it one more time. Blank screen. Bring on a graphic. Put it where you want it to go. Hit the text button. Size the text to fit where the graphic is not. Try not to go over top of the graphics with words. It's difficult to read. Pick a font. Open for lunch. That's what it looks like. Again, pick a size. That's pretty good. I'm going to try to make it a little bit bigger. Let's go 35. Okay. Pick a color. Done. So when you're done putting your messages together, you need to save it. The computer in the sign wants saved messages. At that point, you would hit the word publish. You would click on your sign and hit the word publish here. At that point, there'll be a countdown here, 1 to 100, that would show, count up actually, that would show that the message is in the process and then it is completed. And that's how you send messages to your sign. One more very important tip or something that you also may need to do. The last button over here is terminal control. This is where you control things in the computer in the sign. Time synchronization, you need to make sure your sign is on our time zone. In this case, it's America, New York. Yes, it's the right time zone. But twice a year, you will need to adjust the time based on daylight savings time. Since the computer in the sign doesn't go online, it won't change automatically, and you will need to change it in here. Simply go in here and change the time and hit apply. Brightness adjustment's the other one. You have a choice of manual, just leave it in a brightness and turn it down yourself, or you can use smart. Smart is you go in here, you click on this X right here, and you set a brightness schedule where the sign turns itself up and down on its own. So let's assume at 6 in the morning it's getting light out. I'm going to hit 90% at 6 in the morning and hit add. Oh, I got to put the time in. 06 060000. Never expires. Okay. And now I'm going to add another one. And this time at 8 at night, I'm going to drop it to 20% because the signs can be too bright at night. And so this is a little bit of trial and error, but I'm going to use 20% as my example. After the first night, you may want to turn it up some or even turn it down. If you're in a busy area, you're probably going to want to turn it down. If you're you may want to turn it up. If you're in an area all by yourself, you may want to turn it down. 20% is still pretty bright. And I would put put the time in, but it's not 9 o'clock because it's on military time. So it'd be 21. So again, 20% at 21, hit add. And then you would simply click on this and hit apply. I don't want to change this particular sign, but if I would click on these two that I just set up and I would simply hit apply. And that is how you change the brightness schedule on the sign. And that's something you will need to do at different times during the year. Hopefully this was very helpful for you. My next tape recording is going to be on the cloud-based software.